The Knicks can't let this get back here for a Game 7. End it now. Brunson needs to lead the way in what will further his legacy as a New York Knick.
Okay, listen, as great as he was for most of the game, I think any measured objective analysis in the final moments of the game, you've got to say that he malfunctioned. There's just you have to.
He'd be the first one to say it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we love Jalen Brunson. He just didn't look like himself. His things went awry, and he and everybody imploded here. Here's what I would say about Jalen Brunson. Legacy game, all this stuff. Jalen Brunson can shoot 1 for 15 tonight. And the Knicks lose. Jalen Brunson can shoot 1 for 15 in Game 7 Saturday at the Garden and lose. And I'm coming on the air Monday and I'm saying that there is no doubt in my mind that Jalen Brunson is still a number one on a championship team. That is how great Jalen Brunson has been. Now, I get it sounds like when you're great, the criticism, it's more refined. It's a different scale with Patrick missing the finger roll, the stuff with A-Rod back in the day, the quarterbacks who don't win championships that we just micro-analyze. I get it. But I will roll with Jalen Brunson as my superstar until he no longer wants to play here, no matter what happens the next couple games.
For me, you get defined here in this town by what you do in the postseason. Now, there is a difference in saying what we think he's going to do and hypothetically what if Jalen Brunson goes out there and lays an egg tonight and then follows it up with another poor performance, a subpar performance in Game 7 and the Knicks lose. To me, it's going to be a lot of the focus on him, and if in fact he is a legitimate superstar. Now, I think he's going to take over the game tonight. I believe you are going to get the best of Jalen Brunson because he knows that he let his team down in Game 5, because he knows they missed an opportunity. Superstars rise to the occasion. We saw it in Game 4. Maybe a part of that is being on the road, silencing that crowd. I believe you're going to get the best of Jalen Brunson because I believe he is a superstar. However, if he doesn't do that, I think it does impact his legacy in a negative way. It's the first round, BT. This is a team that was the second seed. The Knicks can't choke this series away. They already choked away Game 5 on an opportunity there. They've got to make sure they kill Philadelphia once and for all and move on. And then the legacy of Brunson starts to go. I'm not going to dispute what he's been already.
Yep.
You know, the best Knick since Ewing, no doubt. Is he better than Ewing? I mean, that is still left to be determined, but he's already an all-time great. The legacy, though, is what you do in the postseason in this town. He's got to get the job done.
Yeah, but let's not forget, a couple of games ago, part of that legacy resume entails him, breaking Bernard King's all-time playoff mark single game. So it's always kind of more than what appears to be at the surface when you get into the legacy stuff. And by the way, I was just reacting to how you framed it out of the shoot here. I absolutely believe that Jalen Brunson is going to be the best player on the court tonight.
Right.
I really do. This is not forecasting doom. This is not fear that Jalen Brunson is going to be so adversely affected and impacted by what went down the other night that he's a different player. Jalen Brunson, he might have, at least it seems, I don't know what's going inside actually inside of his body, but he seems to project the calmest demeanor of any superstar that I can really recollect watching in a long time. Like he just, even when things are at their most frenetic pace, the other night, I knew he didn't play well down the stretch, but
he choked.
He did. Like he bombed. He bombed when they least
in a couple
could afford
of big spots. Yeah.
I understand that, but also, if he wasn't as great as he was for 95% of the game, the Knicks get run out of the gym.
Understood.
But that's got to be part of the evaluation. I know legacy's a complicated thing, and we look to the finality of, did Ewing win the championship? Did Stockton and Malone win the championship? Did this quarterback have one championship or two? I understand that, and there's merit to it. But let's not be so focused on the big picture that we ignore the micro stuff. Without Jalen Brunson, this team might be in the lottery. They really might be.
But he was bad in Game 1 and Game 2. And obviously, you saw what he did. He started to get a little bit better in Game 3, even though they lost that game. Obviously, the best game he played was Game 4 overall, but he started to get better in Game 3, and that's the game, of course, that the Knicks lose. But he hasn't been great in this series from start to finish, right? I mean, Game 6 tonight, they need, because the Sixers have their superstars with Embiid and Maxey, and we'll get more into that as the show goes on here, but they need their superstar to perform at the level he did all regular season. Nobody's ever going to take away the regular season. Let's remember, I'm not talking about championship legacy. I'm not comparing him to Ewing as far as, we look at Ewing who's got a great legacy but doesn't have that ring. We're not there yet. This is the first round, BT. He's been bad in Game 1 and Game 2, and in Game 5 where the Knicks had a chance to put the Sixers away. Brunson himself, who had a good game otherwise, down the stretch was sloppy. This is a chance to respond. This is a chance to make up for the fault in Game 5 down the stretch. Go on the road in Philadelphia. And by the way, the Knicks can't win without him. I know we feel differently about. I do not believe the Knicks can win this game, specifically this game tonight, Game 6 in Philadelphia, without Jalen Brunson having a legacy-type game.
All right, so 877-337-6666. BT and Sal on the face. It'll be a long day. Long day.
Not for us. We're out of here at 12:30.
Well, true, but it's going to be long waiting until they tip at about 9:07. I mean, we're going to all suck it up tomorrow. We'll all be exhausted. We're going to either be, on that false energy on a positive where we were up all night and, you just can't go to sleep because the Knicks are moving on, and now we have a chance to just keep pushing this thing forward, which most of us believe will happen, whether it's tonight or Saturday. Or, no, now, it's one thing to regenerate after what happened last game and be pumped up for tonight. If the Knicks lose tonight, the pressure and now it's a different level of angst, and now we're all
that's what I'm saying.
We're terrified.
I think they have to win tonight, and I think they will. But I think they have to win tonight. Coming back for a Game 7, the pressure of the Garden, knowing what happened in Game 5, knowing that the Sixers have two superstars who now know that they need just one win after being down 3-1. You've given them real life and a real chance. I think the Knicks would be in real trouble if it gets back to a Game 7. And look, the only way to me that they can win a Game 6 is Brunson going nuts. So you put it all together. That's why I really think it's a legacy game. Postseason, BT, is where you make your mark in this town. Eli Manning, Mark Messier, all the greats have had success, the ultimate success in the postseason. Brunson is on his way to being that. We saw it in Game 4, you're right. Historic, all-time great Knick performance. He's got to finish the job tonight in round 1 and eliminate the 76ers.
All right, let's get to you guys. Let's jump up to the Bronx. First up, BT and Sal. Anthony, what's happening, buddy? How are you?
Brandon,
yes.
You are the biggest homer in New York sports radio
Anthony,
history. You know that?
You are the biggest idiot in New York City. How about that, buddy? How about that?
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
I said you're the biggest idiot in New York City.
No, you're a homer.
Yay!
Zach Wilson is a loser.
No, keep this guy around. Don't hang up on him. No, I want to hold on, Ant. Yeah.
You can't excuse Jalen Brunson already before he chokes away the
well, but Anthony, hold on, Ant.
Call him a superstar.
Oh, no, Ant, hold now. And by the way, Ant, I'll mess around when I call you an idiot. You're having a little fun now. It's all good. Listen, now, I think you're taking it literally, though, Ant. What I'm doing is this. What I'm saying is, I was reacting to Sal and his position about this being a real legacy game, which I certainly understand on every level. But hold on.
You're afraid he might choke it away.
No, Ant, hold on, but you're missing my point. Let me be very clear. I think Jalen Brunson is going to be laser focused and money tonight. There is nothing.
Me too, kind of.
All right, I got that. But what I'm saying is, Ant, you hear what you want to hear. I'm not.
You said, Brandon, you have a tendency to get really, really excited after one thing happens and then call it something it's not. The Knicks are not a championship team.
I'm not talking about that today, Ant.
I understand, but you talked about it yesterday.
Okay.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah, but I'm not running from that today. I'm just not focusing on that today.
But my point is you're a homer.
All right,
all right. You want.
Hey, buddy, did you get it off? Did you get it off your chest, buddy? Do you feel better? Honestly.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Well, there you go. Enjoy the game tonight, man. Let's go Knicks. All right, in.
But I do think he's missing the point, BT, and I would have had a couple of questions there if it wasn't so, confrontational.
It's all good.
Well, I'm curious if he's a Knicks fan. Not that really matters, but I'd just be curious to get a feel if he's a Knicks fan, because to come on with the idea that Brunson would choke it away, it sounds a little like you're not a Knicks fan. You should know better. Now, could he? Maybe. Did he in Game 5? At the end of the Game 5, the Knicks choked, and Jalen Brunson was a big part of that. But I don't know how you wouldn't expect anything other than him to respond with the best performance possible. But that's not even the conversation. The conversation is, this to me is a legacy game for Brunson. They need him to go out there and have a big-time game. I believe that he will. But if he doesn't, and the Knicks start to choke this series away and start to slip away from him, then I do think his legacy takes a little bit of a hit for now. I mean, think about what he's done here. Talking about a couple of years. He's won one round in the postseason. This is round 1. Mm-hmm. He's been great in the regular season. I love him. He's been far better than anything we've seen since Patrick Ewing. Nobody would ever debate that. But we're holding him to a different standard here, higher standard. You've got to win in the postseason, and he's their guy. And if they lose this series, and I think they will if they lose tonight, it's on him.
Let me ask you this, though. All right, so we've sped this up, and when you start invoking Patrick and even more so Clyde and the champion Knicks, I mean, we're pushing this forward because Jalen Brunson's given us reason to do that, okay? And his play and the way he's elevated this franchise is undeniable, so he's earned that status, and now with the status comes a different level and deeper level of critique. We all know that. You ripped through some of the names before,
right.
Eli, et cetera. Okay, but now, forget about Clyde. Let's go back to Patrick. Patrick was the first overall pick in 85, number 1. Patrick's first year, while he won the Rookie of the Year, he jacked up his knee. He missed 20-something games. Knicks were like a 23-win team. The next year, they were absolutely awful. It took the Knicks a couple of years to get going. You'll see where I'm going in a minute. And Patrick didn't advance past the first round of the playoffs until he was 26 or 27, and then he was there basically forever with 9 straight minimal second-round appearances. So I say all this like Jalen Brunson was a second-round pick. Jalen Brunson is on one of the best, if not he's on the best contract in the NBA. I know it's, broad shoulders, but are we being fair to Jalen Brunson?
Yes. Because,
are we really?
Because I mean, you're defined in this town with having postseason success. This is the first round. Like, I'm not saying, hey, Brunson's legacy's on the line against the Celtics. I wouldn't do that. I do think tonight, after what happened in Game 5, the Knicks were up 3-1. They're a number 2 seed, led by Jalen Brunson, who you and I both said should be the MVP this year. Not saying he's the best player in the league. He's the most valuable player in the league. You take him off the Knicks, they are trash. Yep. I'm not saying that DiVincenzo's going to get, DiVincenzo's not going to get any blame. DiVincenzo's not going to get any blame tonight if the Knicks don't win. It's all about Jalen Brunson. So, and then we can get into different layers of, who's to blame or whatever. But right now, the focus is it is a superstar-driven league. You have seen Embiid take over a game. You have seen Maxey take over a game. You've seen Brunson take over a game. Brunson needs to do it again because he is the Knicks star. And I judge guys like we do in this town in the postseason, BT. First round, Brunson's got to get out of it, and he needs to, further.
He's got to deliver.
He's got to deliver tonight.
All right, let's get back to you guys. Back to the calls here. 877-337-6666. BT and Sal on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody, well, that's a good omen. I just hit it.
Oh, right? I didn't even know. It's okay. Yeah.
Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Omar, Brooklyn, what's happening, buddy?
Hi, how are you guys? Sal, and listen, I want to ask you a very good communication. I want to have a talk with you before this game happens.
Yes.
A very civil conversation with Omar.
Sal first.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
The thing is, he can be a homer, but you didn't believe in this game, in this team. So that's how I have a problem with that. If you are a fan and you don't believe in this team, and in the whole regular season, whenever they are down, they have shown up how to come up. That is my first point. You cannot be a Knicks fan and you don't believe in the team.
Well, I'm not. But Omar, you have to understand, I'm not. Yes, I'm a Knicks fan, but not when I'm here. I have to call it how it is. I'm not just going to be a Knicks fan and be blind to what I believe at my core. By the way, I did believe in this team. Then after watching Games 1 and Games 2, I started to lose belief in this team, and I know Philadelphia is dangerous. So to what extent? I do believe in Brunson bouncing back and the Knicks ultimately finding a way to win this series. I do not believe the Knicks could beat the Boston Celtics. I do not believe the Knicks could win a championship. So there are different levels of belief.
Okay, all right. We will clear that.
Okay.
Now, before this series started, I thought the two toughest, their toughest matchup in the Eastern Conference are the Philadelphia and Boston Celtics. Out of all the other teams, I will take my chances with their health and every condition of the other team. I will take any other team, 6 out of the 8 playoff teams. We would have beaten them easily. These are the two toughest teams.
Right. Okay. So we kind of agree then that Philadelphia, even from the beginning, because their 2 stars were going to be a challenge.
Now, what do I believe in now? That I always believe that they're going to win that series because they have shown me that they become 2 seed. Whenever I have an edge, and whenever I have a controversy that I have, that can they show up and can they do this? They have shown me in the whole regular season that they are ready for the occasion. I think Game 5, first 6 minutes, The occasion, the Madison Square Garden, the feeling and everything around was too big for them. Too big for them. They couldn't handle it.
So how do you feel, right, Omar? So how do you feel tonight?
How you become, when you get used to that situation. Now, at Game 6, after handling that situation, this Game 6 is not a big incident. They have already recovered mentally and physically, as they've shown throughout the season. Tonight, they show up. Brunson showed up. Everybody shows up. Philadelphia fans will be leaving in the fourth quarter, and the Knicks fans will be celebrating. They should have celebrated in New York. They're not going to choke it up. They're going to win the series. Close his eyes tonight.
All right. Good night. I mean, good night. Just getting up. Good night. Yeah, he's a fiery type. Gotta love it.
I do believe, though, BT, like there have been ups and downs in this series, and I've been riding the emotional roller coaster, feeling good going in, feeling bad after Game 1, feeling worse after Game 2, unsure after Game 3, very good after Game 4, annoyed after Game 5, but still confident. If the Knicks lose tonight and Jalen Brunson does not have a big game, I do not believe they're going to bounce back in Game 7. That's just how I feel. Now, again, maybe it changes after watching the game, how it plays out. I do, though, believe tonight you're going to get the best effort, not just from Brunson, from everybody. DiVincenzo showing up, hitting some shots, secondary plays, McBride playing well, Anunoby playing well. I think you're going to get the best effort. The question is, will it be enough to stop Maxey and Embiid and the freaking officials in Philadelphia?
Yeah, they messed up again. We saw a few of these. They just, I see the articles. Okay, you messed it up, great. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to get further incensed that you messed. Oh, so fantastic. The 4-point play shouldn't have counted. Thank you.
Why? I didn't even see that.
Oh, yeah, they said because it said Maxey traveled. I think that let's say that Brunson plays poorly tonight, or even if just an average game. I don't mean like an egregiously horrific game. Average, slightly below his average. Knicks lose. See, the faith that I have in Jalen Brunson, I would expect him to come back and break his own scoring record. He could. That's why, and I think
the rest of the guys I worry about.
That's fair. I think the first caller really misunderstood what I was saying. I was just trying to illuminate my confidence in Brunson. Like, if he shoots 1 for 15 tonight, and then which he won't, and the Knicks lose, and he shoots 1 for 15 in Game 7, and they lose, and they're done, I'm still getting on the air Monday and all summer and all leading into next season saying, this is the guy, this is the number one superstar on a team that could win a championship. Now you've got to fix some stuff. Like, I would never, I don't think anything can happen. I honestly don't think that anything can happen these next 2 games that would even remotely shake my confidence in Jalen Brunson. He's that guy.
I could understand that, but I would say that he's got a long way to then prove himself. Hypothetically, we don't think it's going to happen, but if it did, if Brunson plays poorly in the next 2 games and they lose this series, his legacy is going to take a little bit of a hit. He's got a long way to go to prove it by getting out of the first round and moving on deeper into the postseason.
Yeah, and how about Embiid? Embiid's 30 with a massive max contract, and who's a former top pick. I mean,
legacy game for him.
Now that's a legacy game. That is a legacy game. 877-337-6666. All right, Knicks fans, let's go. All the emotions that you carry into work today. You're pumped. You're a little nervous. You're a little restless. The whole deal. BT and Sal here for you on the Fan.